Activision has been under fire for their recent decision to remove Warzone solos and deciding to replace it with casual solos. Today, we're going to break down why I believe the casual game mode is one of the best things they could have done for the average gamer, and what they should do to make it better for everyone from the very best player to the very worst. Welcome to Spikebeat Gaming. I'm a washed-up Call of Duty player who now has to balance my gaming time around having a full-time job, attempting to get in shape, and having a wife and 2-month-old baby to try to keep happy. In the background, you'll see my first and only game of casual solos. This is because of two reasons. One, I choked so hard on the final kill that it could have been mistaken for a Seattle Mariners game after the halfway point in the year. And two, I've only had the free time to actually play one game so far, despite how excited I was to see them add the game mode. Let's begin with the obvious. Removing Warzone solos was a stupid decision from the perspective of your high skill level and professional players. I've watched a lot of Warzone since Verdansk returned, from Nadeshot, Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, Sally's a Dog, and just your general extremely good player. For guys like this, removing solos does actively take away from their experience. It also takes away from the experience of the casual player, because now those players are in the casual mode in a volume they weren't before. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who are really good who use casuals as a way to get insane gameplay, and Activision, for some reason, is just constantly making it harder to tell if players are in casuals, which is a decision that I don't understand at all. For the casual player, I think having regular and casual solos is the best thing possible, and Activision should reverse their decision and add regular solos back. Now, why might they have removed regular solos, and really a lot of the other regular modes that players have loved, such as trios? I think the player base dropped off again, and they can't support that many modes. When Verdansk first returned, I played casuals a bit, but I wanted to play the regular mode to see if I was still any good. Casuals, I'd have a queue time of around a minute with really good ping in the 30s or 40s. Regular, I would try to match, and it would take 4 or 5 minutes for me to maybe get in, and all it would say is my ping was over 90, which to me means it's well over 90, but you just want to make it look better. If I did manage to find a game, then I would usually get utterly destroyed within a few seconds of landing, even if I was in the middle of nowhere. And before anyone's like, you live in the middle of nowhere, I actually live on the West Coast in a pretty populated area, and I have really good internet. In fact, I have significantly better internet than I had in college when I was living at home with my parents during the summer, and my connection experience is significantly worse now compared to what it was back then. Further supporting the idea that solos has been lacking in players to fill out lobbies, players like Tim the Tatman constantly have the same stream snipers coming after them. Now, perhaps stream snipers are way more prevalent than I think they are. Maybe Tim does absolutely nothing to stop them from getting into his lobbies, which, whether that's to create content or simply as like a procrastination excuse of, well, I could have done better, and his excuse why he died in this instance or lost, whatever it is, I understand. Don't not throwing shade. He's under a lot of pressure to perform. Or perhaps it's far easier to stream snipe than it should be. But if the lobbies were as filled as I would assume they are, based on how big I think Call of Duty is, I would think it would be significantly harder for stream snipers to be getting into the game. So, to me, this seems like there's not nearly as many games going on at any given time. Now, sadly, I think the only way that Activision could fix this issue and get more players into the game is by making decisions that are good for the customer, which I think is just completely polar to what their business model is. Their objective is to make as much money as possible, and before anyone comes at me of it's a business, they're supposed to make money, I agree. I'm all for businesses making money. However, there's a big difference between seeing the customer as a dollar amount and trying to get that money out of them, and what it used to be in gaming, where studios had faith that, hey, if we make the best product for the consumer, we're going to make money and we're going to be fine. And when you look at the older Call of Duty games, that was very much the case. And it was evident to the player that they valued us as people, not just as money. And sadly, I don't see any studios making games right now, in at least the multiplayer shooter genre, where this is the case, where they are seeing us as people first. I think X-Defiant was the best hope that we had, but Ubisoft clearly shot that down pretty hard by shutting down the studio. Now, studios that I do think are doing really well is the people behind the God of War series. I think they are treating the player really, really well. So, we talked a little bit about kind of the bad decision here. But let's talk about who is this decision really good for? Who is solo royales, or casual royale solo really good for? And that's for people like me, where looking back, I used to be pretty good at the game. Back in college, before I started getting too swamped with school in order to play, I was pretty good. I could lead multiplayer lobbies. I could do any of the Easter eggs and zombies. I could get high rounds on any of the maps. I could drop into any of the battle royales that were out at the time. And I could stand a chance of winning that match. That was back in college, when I was your typical slightly depressed, coping with all of the stress and pressure of life by playing hours and hours of Call of Duty, which wasn't the best decision for my health, but it helped me survive. I can't maintain that anymore. Now I am a 27-year-old father of a 2-month-old. I've been married for 2 years, been with my wife. We dated for 3 years before we got married. I have a lot going on. I have a full-time job that I have to do well. I own a house. I have all these things going on. I can't spend the up to 10 hours a day that I was playing Call of Duty back in college. I can't do that. But I can drop into casual solos. I can drop 18 kills like what you're seeing in the background here. And I can feel pretty good about myself. I can play against bots who, in reality, these bots play like real people did in 2015. And is it the most riveting gameplay? Probably not. It's a little boring watching it back. In the moment, it was so much fun to play, but I'm like watching it now and I'm like, this is not as good as I thought it was. But it's such a different gaming experience now for me as that casual player. And I think this is really good. Now, do I want to watch Sally as a dog play this? Probably not. It's not going to be as much fun watching him drop 40 kills in the game and making me feel even worse about myself. But say we do have an issue where there are not enough players to fill out lobbies. Could they potentially just change the ratio where instead of it being, I think it's 28 real people, could we just change that ratio to instead of 28 it's 50 and then have less bots on the map and kind of mix it up that way? That could be a potential solution to this if it's a numbers issue and not just a trying to make people like me feel good about myself. Now, there's a few other fixes that I think need to be done to the game. I think, number one, they need to put some way where watching this gameplay, you know instantly that it's casual. You could just put the word casual somewhere on the screen. I think that would work really well. Or, the one that, to me, I just don't understand is why the bots are not more easily identified in your kill register on the bottom. Why do they not just have the clan tag bot? And if they do, if it's something that I've totally missed, please let me know in the comments. But I remember playing against bots back in Treyarch, like BO2, just practicing in private matches. All of the bots had bot as their clan tag, and it was so easy just to know what I was doing. I couldn't trick anyone by posting it and being like, I destroyed everyone. I got 75 kills straight and didn't die. So that's, I think, a few solutions. And I think this would be beneficial to all players because it would allow us to know how we need to improve. I think Titanfall was a game that was, one, amazing, and I really want Titanfall 3. But that was a game that did a really good job of having bots and players. And I loved it because I knew who I was defeating. Does it change my enjoyment knowing that I killed a bot? No. But the questioning, was that a bot? Was that a person? That's what pulls me out of the game. It makes me enjoy it slightly less. So, in conclusion, I think Casual Royale was a great decision, and there 100% should be a solo mode for it. What they shouldn't do is make the only option for solo players be Casual Royale. There should be the solo, casual, and regular. And whether it's an answer to their technical problem, they need to reverse it. They need to have both options for players. So, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to talk to you down in those comments. You can watch my previous video, which was looking at the statistical analysis of the mystery box over in Zombies. Or you can look forward to some more videos that are going to be coming here soon. I'll be looking at the newest patch on the mystery box. I just got all of that data collected, as well as looking at the next one I'm writing, a discussion about two major franchises who, in the wake of losing their entertainment value, decided to go the route of creating a path of success that was very similar. And one of them is Call of Duty. The other one is a major TV brand. So, stay tuned for those. This has been Spike Beat Gaming. Have a good one.
Best of five is still standing. Next time we'll take that victory. They hit hard.